Hi, everyone. Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Romance Class podcast. Romance Class is a community of Filipino authors of romance in English. Since 2013, our community has helped over 80 authors publish over 100 books. We also have a podcast, which is what you're watching or listening to right now. And it has been a space to explore more of what we can do with the books and what we can discuss with the authors. This podcast is produced by Mina V, Esguerra, and Tanya Arpa, and is part of the Frolic Podcast Network. Before we start, we would like to remind everyone to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Head over to kilig.pub/YouTube, hit the subscribe button, and also click on the bell to be notified when a new video is coming up. My name is Mina V. Esguerra, and I am not hosting the episode today. More on that in a little bit. The topic that we're covering in this episode is our K-pop and K-drama influences. This discussion is absolutely needed. K-pop and K-drama's influence on the manuscripts and books by Romance Class authors has been clear to me, but I wasn't actually referencing it in the lectures or classes. We produce work in a form that we associate with the US, but our romance media influences are from everywhere. I'll be helping out with the Q&A maybe later, I don't know, but Tara Frejas will be hosting the episode today. Hi, Tara.
Hi, Mina. Hi, everyone. Waving
So
my
you
legs
have an
over here.
interesting, yes, you have an interesting panel, and we would love to hear what you all have in store and what you're going to share and maybe reveal. So take it away, Tara. Thank you.
Thank you, Mina. So, hi again, everyone. My name is Tara Frejas. I am a romance author who has been a K-pop fan and a K-drama fan since TVXQ's Rising Sun and the SBS drama Lovers in Paris. Oh my God, I'm dating myself. I will be your host for this episode where we will be discussing how K-pop and K-drama have influenced the way we write our books and characters. So, because the scope is pretty broad, we have decided to split this episode into two parts. So the first part is going to be for K-drama and the second part is going to be the first part is going to be for K-pop and the second part is going to be K-drama. So let's get the ball rolling with the K-pop segment of this episode. Joining us are authors Danice Mae P, Sison, Katt Briones, and Six de los Reyes. Hello,
Hello.
hello.
Hi.
Hey
Yeah,
guys.
okay. So before we dive in, I'm just going to do a quick definition of terms before we continue with this discussion. So when you say K-pop, it's a term that's been used to describe or refer to the Korean popular music, which has been influenced by various musical styles like jazz, rock, R&B, and hip hop, and so forth. And the people who perform these music are called K-pop idols. So that's what we're going to talk about today, the K-pop idols, the music, and the fandom. So, all right, let's start with some introductions, shall we? Authors, please introduce yourselves and tell us what your fandom/s is or are, and the work or characters you've written that have been influenced by K-pop. Let's do alphabetical order, starting from Denise.
Okay. Hey guys. Hello. I am Danice Mae P Sison. I'm a romance class author. Um so far I think everything that I've written recently that have been published or produced have been influenced by K-pop. So I wrote Flipping the Script, which is a YA novella. And I also have a story called Shipping Included, which is part of the Start Here anthology. Most recently, I've written the Boys Love web series called Boys Lockdown. So later, we'll get into how K-pop influenced me in creating these stories. By the way, I am an XOL, and Kai is my ultimate bias. So there.
Kat, Kat, you're next.
Hello. Okay, hi. My name is Katt Briones. Um, sorry. I'm a Romance Class author. I've also been a K-pop fan since 2010. My main fandoms are Girls' Generation, showing the photo book now, also known as Sonya Shide or SNSD, as well as Shiny and EXO. my works influenced by K-pop are first the NA novella called Chasing Mr. Prefect, as well as my story called Luck from the Skies, which is part of the romance class anthology called Start Here. There.
And finally, six.
Hi everybody, my name is Reyes. I am also a romance class author and I have been in the K-pop fandom since Shinhwa, Perfect Man I think. And then my main I was like 5 years old because we're only 25. And, my main groups are 2PM and Day 6, uh, especially this one, this very special person. I think of my works, the ones that are most influenced, I would say all of them, but maybe not in the way that you might think, or maybe exactly the way you think. We will find out later.
Okay, so before I go to the next question, I'm going to say I am a Cassiopeia. I am a TVXQ fan since 2005, and the works that have been inspired by K-pop for me are Scandalized and Play It by Ear, which are both about the Korean music industry. So, okay, next, let's go to the first question. Are you ready? Since you've mentioned these books and stories that have been inspired by K-pop, my next question is how did these idols, their music, how did they influence the way you write the books and the characters? Let's start with Denise.
Okay. So this is a deep question. um, okay, so K-pop has been uh, inspiring me since I dove deep into it like in 2013 or so. But for me kasi parang uh, I feel that K-pop kasi is a rabbit hole that you know you're not ready to dive into, but you dive into it anyway, willingly. And somehow it ends up saving your life and your sanity, which I know it has done for many people. And I feel that it is a wonderful invention that yun nga, has saved many lives and it just keeps on giving. So I think my work doesn't directly allude to K-pop K-pop references except for shipping included, but there are a lot of elements that have influenced it. Mostly, um, especially for yung sa shipping included kasi, it's about two K-pop titos who meet outside of a K-pop concert. So they're not fans of the genre, but the people they love are very much into it. So um, for me kasi, mas sanay ako na to fangirl over something on my own. But since discovering K-pop, I feel that finding your place within a fandom community is really important and that can influence the work. So that's what happened here with shipping included. Um, I feel that K-pop brings a unique fandom experience, at least in my experience, that I haven't experienced before in other fandoms that I've delved into. For example, there are unique adventures that happen outside of a K-pop concert, and I think that informed the story of shipping included. So these two titos meet outside of a K-pop concert, and they really don't know what they're getting into. Much like K-pop, and parang I feel like it's also something like falling in love. Parang you don't know what you're getting into when you're getting into K-pop, but you get into it anyway. So mainly yun yung nangyari dun sa shipping included. So sa uh, flipping the script naman, that is most directly influenced kasi yung peg ng love interest is si Do Kyung-soo of EXO. So, meron siyang nilabasan na he appeared in a web series called Be Positive wherein his character is a student filmmaker. And that really informed the character of si Pubs Paglinawan. So I clearly patterned it after him. And then the last thing I did, the most recent thing that I did was writing Boys Lockdown. I stole the characters' names from Shiny Ski and Exo's Chen, but I think that's where the references stop. In terms of siguro the shipping dynamics, kumuha ko from how I feel they interact or some of these idols interact backstage or when they're together, yung mga moments na ganun. So that's pretty much how it has influenced me as an author. I take these elements that I see, observe, and uh, shape them into the stories that I make. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Thank you, Denise. How about you, Kat? I think you're on mute, Kat.
Sorry. Sorry, I was on mute. Okay. I think K-pop influenced my writing the most in terms of characterization. Since I follow a girl group, so I think a lot of their uh, personalities or mannerisms got channeled into my main characters. No specific siguro na na aesthetic or album or MV. Mostly it's how their personalities were marketed when they guested in variety shows. Like for example, my main character in the book Chasing Mr. Prefect, Vinny, she's a mix of how Girls' Generation is or how they are in reality shows. Not saying that Girls' Generation is difficult because my MC is difficult. But it's mostly the part that they're dorks. They say what's on their mind to the point of being callous, and they don't have a filter when they're pissed off with each other or when they call friends out. You know, another thing in K-pop that I saw and unconsciously adapted with my characterization is how well not only Girls' Generation but some of the groups, male or female, that I follow, is that sorry, when they're friendly or close, they tend to be very slapstick towards their peers, like hitting or kicking or paghampas is a normal thing when people are comfortable. No matter the context, masaya ba sila? Did they find what the other person said to be funny? Are they annoyed? Uh, ayun, light hitting or kicking is seen as normal interactions among friends or idols guesting in variety shows. Um, Another thing is shipping. Like in the story I wrote for Start Here, Luck from the Skies. So Asher and Chan, these two boys became popular as models in a reality show and were shipped together. Ayun, that was mostly influenced by K-pop because for a time I shipped this boy group pairing na itago na lang natin sa pangalang Hunhan, which is a pairing from EXO. Yeah, yeah, that's it for me.
Thank you, Kat. Now we move on to six.
Okay, so I think it's difficult to discuss your influences, your K-pop influences, without making a trip into the fanfic category. So a lot of, I suppose, we can almost generalize in a sense that a lot of our writing will be influenced in the sense that we have all dived into the K-pop fanfics at some point in our fandom life, or maybe we still are secretly. So I think a lot of uh, the influences there is just based on shipping, on the shippy fix, their dynamics, and how you really it's the science in how you show how two people uh, interact with each other, the dynamics of their ship. So I think it's really mostly for me a lot of being in the fanfic uh, area of the fandom as well, and also the music videos. Like there are a lot of music videos that have these sort of themes. We call it sometimes an era in their uh, or a phase of their discography. And when you watch these music videos, sometimes there are stories in them, or sometimes it's just a general look that they have that inspire these stories. So that's that's mostly it for me, I think.
Great. Thank you, Six. So Denise, Kat, and Six have shared pretty much everything that has also influenced me to write my characters and my books. But there's one aspect in Scandalized and Play It by Ear that really kind of influenced or influenced most of the Backstage Pass series happenings, and they're the gossip and the comment section for the fandoms that in the fandoms included in whatever news that's coming out, because people or fans actually have really very, they have varied expressions when their favorite idol becomes rumored to be dating somebody or seeing somebody, and a lot of them are really responding negatively, and they veer into that territory where they just it's not a good place to be. Like, when you look at the comment section, it's very ugly, and that's something that I included in my books, especially for Scandalized. And so that was one of the aspects of K-pop that really influenced how I wrote that series. So yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Is there a K-pop song, album, or playlist that helped you finish a story or a book? Let's start with Denise.
Uh, SNSD G has provided the background music or the scoring of many a scenes that I've written. In particular, for Shipping Included, uh, G pretty much figures into the love story of Kiko, the MC, the Kiko and David, his LI. So it's even mentioned in the story itself. I just feel like the song is sobrang visual niya, and it encapsulates that feeling of falling in love for the first time. It even leads in with my first love story. So how perfect is that really to score any romance that is forming in your mind? And apart from Shipping Included, I've also used it to score the scene in in my head, at least. The scene where Chen sees Key for the first time. It's that, that banjak feeling that is always so reliable for me as an author. There was also, for when I was writing the web series, I made a playlist of all the songs, the K-pop songs that I wanted included, of which of course will never happen in real life. But Royal Pirates Haru was also there. I recommend you check it out. They're no longer active, unfortunately, but that song is really, it's Chef's Kiss. So those are my main, those are my main K-pop track essentials for when I'm writing, essentially.
Thanks, Denise. I was surprised you mentioned Royal Pirates, and my heart kind of jumped a bit.
I know.
I miss them. I miss them. They had
They
really
were
nice
they were
music as
actually the
well.
first group that I really liked when I was deciding to jump into the K rabbit hole. So yeah, Royal Pirates. They are missed.
Yeah, definitely. So in the comments, Bridge said something, snippet naman daw ng Dako, Dancing G. All right, so
Sure, why
let's
not?
move on to let's move on to Kat.
Ayun, for Chasing Mr. Prefect, the songs Forever and Complete, also by Girls' Generation, helped me a lot, especially with the ending, because I was struggling to write the happily ever after. And okay, I thought for this couple, this is what, because the couple is, the main characters are both fans of Girls' Generation in the book. Well, at least I named them something else. But I thought, let's write. I used it to inspire myself to write a HEA or HFN that would fit a couple that would choose that. Ayun. Tapos, Another thing is For Luck from the Skies for Asher and Chan. The basis mostly or feels from conceptualization up until writing the last chapter was the song Angel or Into Your World by EXO. Kasi yun yung basis, like they didn't know each other yet and slowly they wanted to see what it was like from each other's points of view. Ayun.
How about you, Six? Thank you, Kat.
Okay, so for me, a lot of times, like the music that I play to finish a certain scene or even a book doesn't usually vibe with what I'm writing. It's a lot of times I play battle music from Skyrim or Assassin's Creed. But I remember very specifically when I was writing Feels Like Summer, I had Day 6 on repeat. But at that time, they only had two mini albums, I think. So the first one and the second one. And so those are what I had. Oh, sorry, my dog. So those were the two mini albums I had on repeat. And then also for anytime I have to write Nico, Riz, and Isaiah, I always have to play 2 p.m. So it's their two studio albums, Grown and Number Five. Uh, from Number Five, it's specifically Hotter Than July. So it really fits not necessarily the vibe, but uh, I guess the underlying feeling of summer mostly, since I really like writing about people in the summer doing summery things. So that's mostly it. Also, you know, with 2 p.m. sometimes it gets a little steamy, so that helps writing steamy things.
Can you recommend one steamy 2 p.m. song? Just for kicks.
Let me see. There is Nobody Else, and then there's also Good Man.
Okay. Nobody else in Good Man by 2 p.m. For steamy for steamy
Actually,
scenes.
there's more. There's always Poon. That All Day Think of You. You should also probably watch the MV by yourself.
Oh, okay. We'll check that out for sure. Okay. So I'm gonna answer this question. I have mentioned this before in the Rock Stars episode because I have been listening to a lot of FT Island as well. Even though I'm a TVXQ fan, but I also really like FT Island's music. So I listen to a lot of Prey, the rock heavy, the rock heavy music that they produce. So Prey, Bare, Lovesick, those songs. I listened to them a lot while I was writing Scandalized, and for Play It by Ear, it was a lot of Park Hyoshin's music. It suddenly became really sad because there's a part in that book that's really very heavy, and that song, um, Wildflower by Park Hyoshin, was really the one song I was listening to the entire time I was writing like the second half of Play It by Ear. So yeah, so that helped me a lot. Okay, so right, that actually concludes the first part of this episode. So thank you so much, Denise, Kat, and Six. If you're tuned into our live stream, you'll be seeing more of them later during our free for all discussion. But for now, we'll be moving on to the K drama section of this episode, and I will be joined by authors Chi Rodriguez and J.E. Tria. Hey Jay, hey Six. I sorry, not Six. Chi. Hi Chi. Hi Jay. Where are
Hello!
you? There you are.
Bye, Six.
Where's
Bye,
Chi?
Denise.
All right. Hello. Okay, so again, we'll be doing definition of terms first. So Korean dramas or K dramas are television series first. Jay, sure disappeared. So K dramas are television series in the Korean language created and produced in South Korea. Usually K dramas run for only one season, usually, and have a fixed number of episodes that typically run from 16 to 20 episodes. They have so far included or explored various genres through the years, including rom-coms, crime, suspense thrillers, revenge dramas, as well as those focusing on historical figures and medical professionals.
Sorry, I am.
Welcome back, Jay. Just in time. So, authors, I would like you to please introduce yourselves and tell us what tell us what got you into K-drama and which of your books and or characters have been inspired by the K-dramas you have seen. We'll start with G and then J.
Hi. Hi, my name is Chi. I'm a Filipino author who writes mostly romance in English, and I've been consuming K-pop and K-dramas since I was 5 years old, 20 years ago, in the year 2000, since I'm only 25. K-pop and K-dramas because life is hard and we love escapism in this house. And I won't be able to touch on my K-pop background because this is the K-drama segment. But if you wanna hear me talk about it more, I talked about it in our previous podcast episode, which was about fanfic, somewhere here in our YouTube channel or eventually in Spotify, I think. Uh, yeah, and my first K-dramas were very angsty. So I started out with the ones that my mom was watching back then, which were Endless Love, Autumn in My Heart, if you guys remember that, which was Beyongsoo. Uh, no, Song Hye-kyo. And then stuff like Winter Sonata, Stairway to Heaven, and then eventually the K dramas also evolved to include more comedic elements. So most of the stuff that I really like came out then, like My Love Patsy, Full House, My Girl, My Name is Kim Samsoon. But I really got into it as in terms of creative, getting more creative with how I engage in my K dramas when during the Coffee Prince era. It influenced me a lot at the time. I wrote a lot of between the lines type of fanfic, which was based on how the actors were interacting with each other, uh, and also I guess their characters in Coffee Prince. I was part of the fan. I had a nickname. I had a nickname in the Coffee Prince fandom because I was making videos and charts and graphs connecting the dots of their interactions. It was wild during the Coffee Prince era. Like they called me Nancy Yu, as in Nancy Drew, but you because Gong Yu and stuff like that. So that's where I really got into you being influenced by K drama in my creative work. And it's not really that direct in my current work, but it still plays into it. Uh, I don't write that much angst anymore. We've moved on from that, but yeah, I think we're gonna talk more about how it has influenced our work later. So for now, that's it for me.
Thank you, Nancy Yu. I didn't know that. I didn't know that part about you.
I have videos on YouTube. If you search Nancy, you they're gonna pop.
The
Oh my
videos
god.
have a lot of views. Okay, she showed
I have
me
Yeah,
yes,
this,
I
this
have a gong,
information.
I have a Gong Yu fan video that's like I don't know. I think it crossed 2 million views or something. I don't know. I can't remember anymore. But I
It's
have
a lot of views. You showed it to me
yes,
one time. Because that
yes.
was like,
Pero it wasn't a thing yet before to be earning from your from your views.
right.
So we didn't do that. But yeah,
When
it's there.
when you were five, yeah.
Yes.
okay. Thank you, Chi. Now we'll move on to Jay.
Hello. So I'm Jay. I'm a Filipino author. I write romance in English, and I enjoy watching K dramas. So in terms of K dramas, my foray into it was actually a Korean movie called My Sassy Girl in 2001. So that's the first thing that I was able to consume. Junjion and Chateon. It was a romance, a romantic comedy, and I really enjoyed that. After that, I started consuming K dramas.
I also watched the angsty ones that she mentioned, the Endless Loves, the Winter Sonatas. And I remember distinctly being able to watch the Endless Love in Tagalog dub because I remember them as Jenny and Johnny. So that was great. But I also eventually enjoyed more of the romantic comedy type of K dramas such as Full House, which was Song Ye Kyo and Rain, and My Girl, which is super classic, Idahe and Idonguk. So those are still things that I haven't watched them in a long time. So I don't know if they stand the test of time. But I remember My Girl being really a good K drama. So, and I think we'll be talking about it more in detail later, how we were influenced by K dramas when we write now. Generally, the themes that I was able to see and like in K dramas and themes and my personal response to the themes that are visible in K dramas influenced my writing. Specifically, I may have written a couple of things with certain K drama people in mind or in response to my feelings, overflow of my feelings from K dramas that I really, really enjoyed. Because recently, when I enjoy a K drama, I don't stop watching it after the first cycle. So I usually have to watch it a few more times. And then even then the feelings somehow still need a place to go. So I may have written some things. I may have. Yeah.
Sorry, I just
We're going.
sorry,
Yes, Chi.
I just checked my Gongyu video. It has 6.3 million views.
Oh my god,
Oh
you're a
my gosh.
superstar.
Anyway,
Oh my
carry
god.
on.
That's a lot. All right. So Jay, you have to talk about that later, okay? The thing that you wrote.
Yes, please expose yourself.
Do I
Yeah.
really? Okay.
I mean, if you want to, like, but I already exposed you anyway.
Yeah.
But
I think
okay.
it's in my notes anyways. I will have to just commit to what I've written to my
Okay.
notes.
Okay. Sige. Okay. So my first K drama, I like Chi and Jay. I have also watched the Winter Sonatas, the Endless Love, actually, the Endless Love things, and except the One Bin one. I don't know why I have not seen that, but anyway, I have seen Stairway to Heaven and also My Girl, and but really the first one was Lovers in Paris, and it was like no turning back from there. I really like how they tell their stories, visually how visually appealing the dramas are, and how visually appealing the actors are. So that's it's an entire package also, and especially also when you add the music in, it's just an entire masterpiece altogether. So that's me, and also the K dramas that I have seen also inspire some scenes in my books, mostly scandalized and played by ear as well. So, okay, so before we move on to the next question, I would like to remind everybody to please subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching on YouTube right now, please subscribe. Please hit that bell button so that you'll get notified of our future streams. You don't miss any of our discussions, our fun stuff, and everything else in between. So yeah, and also please like this stream right now. If you're watching at the moment, please like the stream. So we like all the engagement we can get. Okay, so second question. Jay, how did K drama influence the way you write your books or your stories or your characters? Let's start with Chi.
I don't think K drama influenced my books in a direct way, like in a way that I wrote about K dramas or something directly inspired by a K drama, but it's more being inspired by the characters and the actors that play those characters. It usually ends up in my stories as character pegs where I base some of my characters characteristics on how these actors played their roles, and then these actors themselves. I also got a lot from how K dramas portray found families, with the portrayal of groups of friends and soft boys. K dramas are very good at portraying soft boys. I think it's K dramas that influenced me into writing more soft boys and liking soft boys just in general. K dramas are also very inspiring in how they portray competence porn. I love it when when both the leads or even the villains are really good at what they do. It's very interesting how they write that and how they execute that in their shows. So I though that influences me also in how I think when I'm writing these things. And most importantly, I think what K dramas taught me the most is the importance of the small kilig moments, the very little kilig moments. They're very good at that, like the please lang ng kamay, the soft, gentle brushes of the shoulders or small gestures. Because sometimes some people assume that kilig has to come from some grand gesture or something very overt. But K dramas are very good at making subtle moments very kilig, and I take a lot from that when I'm working on my own stuff personally. Yeah, that's me.
Thanks, Chi. Now, Jay, let's hear from you.
Me. Now me. Yeah, actually, she and I actually became K-drama watch buddies in this panini, and we kind of realized that we like pretty much the same things in terms of K-drama. So we enjoy the competence porn. We enjoy when the leads are really good at what they do and the plot doesn't move them. They are active participants in the plot. It doesn't just happen to them. And we also enjoy the squads, which is also something that is very that K dramas are very very good at creating and writing. So it's usually a bunch of misfits coming together, whether they are forced into this bond or they just organically become found family. And K dramas are really really good at that. So that's something that influences my writing. I mentioned this already also before in the Rockstar podcast episode that fun families are really one of the things that influences me, and K dramas actually adds to that. So in general, yeah, that's how my writing is influenced by K dramas. Specifically, I enjoyed What's Wrong with Secretary Kim. And Secretary Kim, when was that? Was that 2018? 2017. I enjoyed the drama. I watched it many times, and I may have written something because I loved it. And so the pegs for the that book, which is unrevised, it's still in my drafts. It's actually Park Seo-joon and Park Min Young, and just the competence porn and just the visuals, not necessarily the story, but just really enjoying the chemistry and the actors and how they were portrayed in the K drama. And the thing also with K dramas is they're kind of like the K-pop, that they give you so much content, so you get the actual drama, and then you also get the behind the scenes. So sometimes the behind the scenes is a different K drama altogether, which is what, and I'm gonna drag Chi here. Chi and I experienced, and we were watching The King Eternal Monarch. So it's a fantasy romance, high. Well, there were bits of angst and violence and family things in the actual drama, but then the behind the scenes is like this rom-com thing between the two leads, and that's what was also very inspiring. And yeah, I may have written something also that's not yet done because of that. Okay, I said it.
Thank you, Jay. So I'm just gonna put this up here. Chris said, the small moments kasi make us feel that the grand gestures are earned. And that's very true. That's very
Yeah,
true.
yes.
I didn't think of it that way, but yes. That's very true.
Yeah.
That's also one of the things that I really like about K-drama. They really know how to build the tension between, if it's a rom-com, they really know how to build the tension between the two characters and make you feel like you're going to root for them until the end. You know, you want them to be happy together. Bridge said, yung holding hands na slow-mo, inabot na ng gabi.
No, we were talking about, we have to drop Healer at this point. We're talking
Yes,
about
healer.
Healer, how
Yes.
we love the drama. It's not a romantic drama, but it has that romance line, and
The
the
line.
leads did not know each other until how many episodes down the road. And then that one scene, they were not even sitting next to each other. And it ends with them holding hands, and they're not even in the same room because they were divided by a
They
door and a
can't
wall.
even see each other.
It was just so amazing the way that was built.
Correct. Yes. So
Healer,
that
go.
drama that we mentioned was Healer, starring Ji Chang Wook and Park Min Young. It's on Netflix if you want to check that out. If you haven't seen it yet, it's amazing. It's not a rom
Yes.
com. It's more of a suspense thriller
Action.
Suspense, yeah.
action. It's a
Yeah,
mishmash of everything. It has everything
But it's the
actually.
best.
So
it's the best.
It has great female leads, so
yes. Okay. So next question. Have you ever written or planned to write a fix to something problematic that you have seen in a K drama? Because of course we know that as much as we love K drama, they're not perfect. They sometimes have, these problematic scenes or characters. Have you ever written or planned to write something like to like debunk or like respond to that kind of thing, scene or whatever? She.
Our faces as if we did not know these questions.
mahirap. Even if there's even if we have notes, it's hard. Fix. I don't think I've ever written something that was a direct response to something that I wanted to fix. But I guess I'm very hyper aware of not writing something that's like choosing pain for dramatic effect. Because they like that sometimes. They where they put their leads through hard times and then they choose to leave because it's the best thing to do for the other person, but it's not the best. No, don't do that. So i try I try not. I'm very hyper aware of that, so I try not to incorporate anything like that in what I write. Communication is key. Miscommunications that uh could have that are not possible in the age of cell phones and social media. Let's not do that. So I also try not to do that in my fic because it's something that really bothers me when in the K dramas that I used to watch. But I think the biggest thing for me is I wish there was more explicit queer representation in K dramas. What I mean by this is that it's not that it's totally non-existent. It's just that queer rep in K dramas tend to, I need something that's not a joke, not an insult, not that's not tragic or that's not queer baiting. So I think that's also partly why I decided to only write queer MCs, starting with my last book, which was No Two Ways. Like if I was to note some examples of things I don't want to do, maybe problematic queer rep in K dramas, there's a lot, but I, I guess if you guys know, there's this very tragic gay movie, No Regrets. It was terrible. It was tragic, pain, just all pain. And then I guess not K drama, but music videos, which was the Wish Tree music video by Red Velvet. It was very not explicit, borderline queer baiting, but it's also just pain, just pining. There's no clear HEA. There was explicit rep in another music video, which was the music video for 159 cm by Tenny, but it was also tragic. There was the first lesbian kiss though in a K drama happened in this coming of age drama called Sonam Girls High School Detectives. It was in episode 11. It was the first lesbian kiss in a K drama, but that whole storyline was also sad because there was bullying, forced outing, and we can just have the first lesbian kiss in a K drama without all the pain, So I I I wish K dramas had happier, more explicit, and not a joke. And in terms of joke, it comes up a lot. Like in top management, there was a dream sequence there where Cha Eun-woo and An Hyo-sop, they kind of implied that there was a thing, but it was just a dream sequence. Uh, what else? There was, I think there's a Busker BL now, Korean Busker BL in Netflix, which is great. There was also a hint of a bisexual lead in the form of Nana in The Good Wife. Uh, they showed her walking away from hooking up with a girl, but that was basically it. Uh, there's also there's this mini web series on YouTube called The Boy Next Door, which was cute. It's Cheo Shik and Jang Ki-yong, but it's not clear if they're actually it was more of a comedy of them messing up and then people assuming that they're together. But yeah, Itaewon Class had a trans character in the form of Lee Joo Young. I never watched Itaewon Class, but I think the reviews were good. So I think I just wish we had more of that. So I'm trying to incorporate more of that in my writing. Yeah, then I think that's it for me.
Thank you, Chi. I've seen Itaewon Class, and I know what you're referring to.
Yeah,
Lee Joo Young's
yeah,
character there was a transgender woman,
yeah. Trans
and
woman.
I think pretty much they did a good they did a good job of writing that character. Although of
Yeah.
course there's that kind of discrimination and the challenges, the
Mm.
struggles that transgender women experience at the workplace and in society in general. But it was a very good representation, I think, of
I wish
her
I wish I
character.
was happy. I was reading comments while it was airing because I yeah, like I said, I never watched Itaewon Class, but when I found out that Lee Joo Young, who is also one of my favorite people in the world, was playing a trans character, I was like, wait. So I had to check. I checked the comments, like what everyone was saying, and so when I checked, most of it was positive. Like there's still room for improvement, but most of it was positive, and it was also, in general, just a big step in K dramas that they had a trans woman as a character
Yep.
in a mainstream, and in big K dramas. Itaewon Class went big, so it was a big
Yeah.
deal na that character was in that K drama.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
she
Carla.
had a good ending. She had a happy ending.
I know, I
Yes, she did.
heard.
She did.
That
She
was so
got a
great.
happy ending. And she was protected by the Crown family. So that was a good thing. That was a good. They were acknowledging it at the very least, which is not what you
Yes.
really want right now. You want more than acknowledgement, right? But yeah,
Yeah.
Yes,
just,
correct.
Oh,
just
also,
start, I guess.
can I just say another thing? I'm doing this for Bridge. I'm gonna say this part for Bridge because another thing with K dramas that's a problem is there's usually, it's not, I don't know if it's queer baiting, but there's usually like chemistry between two female friends that they don't follow through, which is frustrating. Like so, I'm gonna mention this for Bridge because the K drama Run On did this where Sooyoung and Sekyong had a very good chemistry, and they even implied in the beginning that Sooyoung might be a lesbian, but it was only to insult her, and she only fought back because she wanted to one up the other person. So it was complicated, but if you're gonna give us chemistry, please follow through. Because we're us gays are parched. So please just give us something. That's
Bridge,
all. Thank
Bridge,
you.
Bridge in the comments is also talking about how Taeyeol and Soryong is her ship in TKEM, but that's really, I think that's you, Bridge, though. Because in the drama, they were not friends. Yeah, but
Yes, Jella. The
yes.
character, Lee Joo Young's character in Itaewon Class was a transgender woman. So thank you, Chi. How about you, Jay? Let's hear your response.
Yeah, so it's mostly things that I also avoid. I don't like the wrist grabbing. I don't like the overtly alpha MC, alpha lead that K dramas had, especially in the before times of what was that with the Isungi ones? Shining Inheritance. I used to really love that, but I watched it again just was that last year, and it was really not good in terms of how toxic the male character is, and that's actually also one of the things also that I am more aware of is that the K dramas like that the tsundere character, or I suppose it translates to sungit for us. So somebody, a male character who is cold and hard in terms of the front that he gives the world, but he's an actual marshmallow. There are the ways to do it that can lead to a toxic character and a toxic relationship with the female lead, and there are ways to do it right, wherein the softness overflows and it's actually a good person, even with a tsundere front. So that's something that I like to write instead, veering away from the toxic male lead and just make it tsundere but good, a good man, a good character. I also learned to not write a love corner. I traditionally also known as the love triangle, but usually it's a girl that's liked by two guys. And I think people who watch Startup would have feelings about this. I have not watched it, and I now have no plans of watching it because of all your feelings. But yeah, sometimes it's done in such a way that you actually fall for the second male lead, and even in how it's written, you are led to that decision of falling to that male lead, and you struggle through the drama, fighting in your or screaming at your screen why the girl is choosing this other guy, the main lead, when the second lead is actually the one who is a better choice, a better man, a better fit for the female character. So I try to avoid that now, having that love corner situation when I write. Sometimes it also becomes a waste of a good male character because you relegate them to second male. Maybe just write a different book for that person and not make them a second option that is not chosen.
Thank you, Jay. So before I answer this question, I just want to say that this is the
Ryan, go
last
bullet.
question for this is the last question for this segment and also the episode. So if you guys are hanging out with us after this, please, and if you have any questions, please let us know in the comments. We will be having like a free for all discussion with everybody, Denise, Cat, Six, and us here on the screen. We'll be having more chit chat about K dramas and K-pop. So yeah, just hang around. Okay, so my answer to this last question is um just like Jay said, it has something to do with second leads because I have suffered from extreme second lead syndrome before. First with Lovers in Paris, and then I guess in Memories of Bali, and then My Girl.
My girl.
My girl.
Yes.
Yes.
So, and then very recently, Startup, because the mentor. Anyway, so I have suffered that second lead syndrome a lot with the old K dramas that I've watched, and what I noticed back then was that the way the writers justified the main character getting together with the main lead is to make the other character or the other lead bad or evil, or I don't know, it's something negative. They destroy this character's personality just to make sure that just to tell the audience that this person, the main lead, is the better choice. And I really really hated that. I just did not like how that was done all the time. I mean, not all dramas are like that, but during the time when I was starting to watch the K dramas, that was like kind of the formula that they did for the love triangles. So, and it And it kind of is upsetting because when you start watching the drama, the second lead is not actually a bad person. They're actually really cool and caring and kind. And then all of a sudden they destroy the person with like an upsetting secret, the secret evil side or something like that. That's how it happened with Lovers in Paris. And I was really upset because I really like Lee Dong-gun. And then yeah, so I carried that a lot, that that thinking I don't want my second lead, if I ever write a second lead or a love triangle, I don't want my second lead to be an evil person. So that appeared in Waiting in the Wings. It's not a K-pop book, but that's like my response to that theme of making second leads evil. So yeah, that was like my most concrete example, I guess, for the problematic characters in K drama. Okay, I think we're done for the K drama segment as well. So this is the end of the K-pop and K drama podcast episode. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, Jay, Denise, Kat, and Six. Um, can you come back? Can you come back on screen? Right. So, like, thank you so much for hanging out with all of us this afternoon. And if you're listening to this episode on your favorite podcast streaming site and would like to catch the Q&A session following this, please visit our YouTube channel, kilig.pub/YouTube. So, yeah. Um, and- right. All right. So, let's do let's do our free for all discussion now.
I'm back.
Hello.
Galing,
Are
guys.
you,
Galing.
are you
Go.
guys are you guys okay? I
Di ko
think
pala na,
we met.
I wasn't able to show my stuff.
Okay, so it's time for show and tell.
Time for show and
See,
tell.
this is a pillow of Daniel Henny. Say hi, guys.
I'm
And
not
then
gonna,
here are my
Hi,
like.
Dan.
I'm not gonna
Show
show
and
my.
tell
Here are my.
portion.
I will show
Hi,
this.
hi. Welcome to the messy portion of this. Welcome. We were
If you're
professional
still
earlier,
here.
but now no, not anymore.
We made such a good time though. Good
Yeah.
job, host Sarah Frejas. I have
I know, I'm
Temin.
so proud of I was
I
so
have Temin
nervous.
and I have Shiwon. I have, oh my gosh, it's a half naked Shiwon. As Shiwon should be.
Whoa, that
This
is a
this is a
chest.
family show.
I'm sorry.
I also have a
Okay,
giant
people,
gym in here.
people in the chat, if you
Nice.
have any questions about K-pop, K-drama, and the way it affects our writing, please let us know in the comments. We can also just talk about the biases and stuff. Actually, we have a question about that. We had we had questions about that. So, okay, I'm gonna ask you this question so everyone can answer. For K-pop, since everyone's into K-pop anyway, what's your gateway material to K-pop, and what made you stay? So, what's your
Dangerous
K-pop
question.
gateway, and what
Dangerous
made?
question.
Okay,
Suddenly
Let's start.
emotions.
Let's start with Chi.
Ang hirap naman ng letter C yung pangalan. Oh my God. Anyway. Anyway, my gateway to K-pop literally was my mom, because my mom was the first K-pop K-drama fan in this house. But my gateway song, I guess, was "Fly to the Sky" was "Missing You" by Fly to the Sky. I'd been listening to a few other songs before, because, like I said, my mom was a fan. So the other groups I've listened, but it was really Fly to the Sky's "Missing You" that got me interested in K-pop. The reason I stayed was TVXQ. They were my
Oh
first
man.
you know, they were my first alt group. So I started standing them during their debut. It was I when I was 8 years old. in 2000, in 2003, they had a live performance of the first Noel during a BOA showcase. That was they did it. They're very good in acapella. Let me, where is my light stick? They did an acapella acapella rendition of the first Noel. That's when I started standing them. And that's why I stayed. I left after the breakup. We're not gonna talk about that. I left K-pop, but I left K-pop for a bit, for a few years, because I was heartbroken after TVX2 broke up, and then I got dragged back by BTS. The song that dragged me back was "Dope." So let's change to a different light stick. The song that dragged me back to K-pop was BTS "Dope." So yes, that's my journey through K-pop over my very
Oh my
young
god.
20 years in this fandom. Carry on.
Denise, how about you?
My K-pop gateway, I came across it on Tumblr. A lot of the Tumblrs that I was following at the time, I noticed, coming from the J-Rock fandom, were posting all of a sudden these pink-haired boys. So I started investigating, and the first K-pop boy that caught my attention was Luhan from XOM. So I felt it was like a natural progression. These The same blogs that I was following were getting into K-pop, so I kind of got influenced by what they were reblogging, and that's how I got into EXO. So my gateway into EXO was the history dance practice video, which was why I posted the old SM practice room earlier on Twitter. That's really where it started. My fandom started. Um, I must have replayed that practice video like 100 times in 1 week. It was just the tab was just open on my computer. So I had to find out everything that I could about what I didn't even know what a subunit was. Like what is XOM, what is XOK. They're essentially singing the same songs, but this group is singing in Chinese, this group is singing in Korean. So it was just confusion from the very start, but a very happy type of confusion. So I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how it started for me, from that single practice video. And here we are after so many members have dropped out. But that's another story for another day.
Pain, pain, pain.
Thanks, thanks, Denise. Jay, how about you, Jay?
Me. Um, I have two younger sisters, and they were actually the first in this house who got into K-pop. So it was the sister next to me who kind of forced me to watch Super Junior Sorry Sorry, because they were coming to Manila for a concert, and she wanted to watch, and she wanted a concert buddy. So that's me. So she's like, watch this. They're super cool. They're cute. Please watch the concert with me. So I watched the video. Of course, I like the song, and that hook is dangerous. And I ended up watching Super Show. I think it was Super Show 2. So the first, so it's really funny because I went in just knowing nobody. I think I knew Q because he was the bias of my sister. And then I came in and there were like 10 boys. I'm like, who are you? But you're all cute. And as the K-pop concerts, even if you come in knowing who you like, who your bias is, it gets confusing because all of them are vying for your attention. So even if you're super far, the screens will be focusing on a different boy at a time. So you're like, who do I really love? But since I came in not knowing anybody, I just went inside and, okay, I'm just gonna enjoy this. And I eventually liked Domhe. He was actually my first bias and did not change up until now. Is still my Sujo bias. And around that time also, Shiny was promoting Ring Ding Dong. And that was my youngest sister who actually got me to watch that video. And I remember distinctly asking, what does it mean? Uh, ra- Fantastic elastic. What does it mean? I don't understand. What are they saying? And she was like, just go with it. And in the music video, there's the scene of Temin with his bowl cut, and this 2009 version bowl cut, drinking milk. I love him. Mom, I love him so much. And yeah, so he has been my bias from Shiny from the start, and soon after on you. So it's a double bias. It's Onte bias for me, and up until now I'm a Shawol. And I kind of left the fandom or K-popping around 2013. It just happened. I think I got into local bands around the time, and gigging also takes a lot of energy, so I kind of slipped out of K-pop then. I started sliding back in late 2017, which was a difficult time to go back into the Shiny fandom. But I'm glad to be back, and yeah, it's been a good place for joy and all the necessary things in these trying times. Sorry, I had to say
It's
Thank you,
okay.
G.
It's true.
feelings.
Cat naman.
Ayun. Warning, this is gonna be long. My gateway to K-pop, ang may sala ng lahat ng to is Minho from Shiny. I saw him in the Lucifer music video. I thought, sino to? Why does he have a coconut haircut? And how does he still look so good? What is this? Tapos, so what happened was I checked out the music video, and when I was that age, I used to do and like dancing. And when I saw the choreo, I was like, OMG, wala na. It's over. This is so good. I replayed that video over and over. I downloaded it on my phone because back then data was not something that I could afford, or it wasn't widely available yet, so I couldn't stream whenever I wanted to. So I just wanted to have it on my phone para easy access, ganun. And then after that, I checked out the videos recommended to me by the YouTube algorithm then, which brings me now to the group that made me stay. During one during one of my rewatches of Lucifer, I noticed the thumbnail of a song called Oh. I said, sino to? Ang ganda. She's so pretty. It turned out to be Soo Young. So I asked one of my friends then, hi Arian, who's also multi-fandom. I asked, is Girls' Generation good? Okay ba sila? Should I check them out? Ayun, tapos, she said, go, okay naman. So I watched the OMV. I remember getting annoyed. I was like, why is the song so silly? The styling was so bad. Their hair looked fried. Tapos, ewan ko, I didn't like it at first. And then my friend said, no, check out the other one. Check out Genie. Tell me your wish. And then, ayun, now that one I really like. And like Danice said, K-Rabbit Hole, wala nang there was no escaping this anymore. It was like Lucifer all over again. I downloaded it on my phone. By the end of that week, I memorized now all the steps. It was the choreo that hooked me, and I really liked the concept, plus the styling, military uniforms. It was sexy and effortless, and everyone looked beautiful. Ayun, lagot na. My friend sent me this USB, or I think it was an external hard drive, where it contained variety shows of SNSD, like Intimate Note and We Got Married, where Sohyun was featured with Yonghwa from CN Blue. And watching those showed me their dorky side, and I found each and every one of them relatable, especially when they roasted each other. And ayun na, I was well into the fandom by then, and up to this day, I am still a Sowon and a Shawol, as you can see my Twitter feed. Yeah, that's it for me.
Thanks, Kat. Okay, let's move on to 6.
Hi, so it's me again. So like I mentioned earlier, like uh, the first group that I saw was Shinhwa, and that was because uh, I think it was one of the related videos while I was looking around for other videos from J rock groups, and then I can't remember if it was Perfect Man or Angel, but it was the first video that I saw. And then if you've never seen the Angel video, you should watch it. It was one of the first that I've seen that is uh, set like it's a movie or a drama, and then it was the first like there was really hardcore acting in there, and then from there you just kind of slide down slowly, or if you like, it's something that you vaguely saunter downwards into this hellhole or this acid pit called K-pop. And then from there, I I got into Dongbang Shinki, uh, Rising Sun, and O. At the same time, there was also Super Junior and Don't Dawn. But even by then, it was still just casual. Also, Rain. Rain was around during that time. But what really got me to stay was 2 p.m. I have visual aids. And Diane, thank you for this. So, Kim, although I'm wearing the shirt from their live tour here in 2011 or 2012. Yeah, they were here before. And then what I really like about them was just when you watch them in their variety shows, they just do like these silly things, and it's not anything new. Like everybody will have that sort of universal experience between them. But when you watch them, they just have this way of endearing themselves to you, and it's very compelling and it's very compulsive. You just keep watching them. Also, what was next? Who was next? Uh, 2 p.m. actually came out at the same time as Shiny, so that's also something that sorry. And then well, Infinite, like this is just the the timeline of the second wave of K-pop. So there was Shiny, 2 p.m., Infinite, and then uh, it was a really good time because there was also Sonia Shide, and then there was 21, and then you did have these end of year shows, the Gayo Daejuns, and then you'd see them all together, which does not happen uh, these days, I think, anymore. There's not a lot of intergroup interactions where they just play around. Like there used to be these videos where where you'd have members of different boy groups sing and dance to a girl group number. Yeah, those were one of the best memories that I've had before. What else? From the latest batch of K-pop artists, there's I'm gonna bring out my box again. Basics. They're a little different because they're a band, so they're like CN Blue and FT Island, and they're also from JYP. They were also here, 2018, 19, and then we also saw them at Took J with me. Mhm. So yeah, that would be my K-pop history.
Thank you, Six. So for me, it's really TVXQ all the way. Like I started 2005. I was in Sumpi. I was a tambay of Sumpi. If you don't know that, it's a website. Actually, it started as a forum for K drama and K pop fans. So you spell it as SOOMP exclamation point. So it looks like an I. So Sumpi, Sumpi.com. So right now they're like a news website kind of, but it really started as a forum, and I was a tambay there posting fics and stuff. So I was there because I was a fan of Lee Dong-gon, and I met a couple of friends there who are also fans of Lee Dong-gon. We watched Lovers in Paris and my Sweet 18 and Stained Glass. And I wasn't a fan of any K-pop group then, but there was a friend that I knew from Sumpi who was a fan of TVXQ. And because at that time I was creating, those banners in forums that you put underneath your post, like a
Yes.
signature, right? So I created banners like that because I was still working as a graphic designer then, and I was trying to improve my skills kind of, and I was taking requests for banners for K-pop artists and actors and actresses that they wanted to put in their banners. And this friend of mine who was a fan of Lee Dong-gun said, "Can you create a banner for me that has Kim Jun-soo in it?" So Kim Jun-soo is one of the members of TVXQ when they were still five. And then I created banners for them, for her. It's Kim Jun-soo, and then, I just knew him as a member of this five-person group that I never listened to. And then one time, this friend of mine was away, and at around that time, the Rising Sun music video came out. And I checked it out because I wanted to surprise her with a new banner. So I wanted to take screenshots of I wanted to take screenshots of the music video. So when I watched the music video, I was like, "Oh my god, what is this? It's so amazing. Like everything is like everyone has their own concept. It has kind of like a storyline. It's shot like a movie, and the music is just banging. Like it's really really good. So from there, so I took the screenshots, created the banners, and then I looked for actual performances like Inkigayo, Music Bank, and that was the end of it. Like I was done for. And then, and all of the other material that's existing on the internet that has Tompang Shinki in it, I consumed. Like all of the variety shows, all of the performances, the interviews, everything. So that was like my gateway, the rabbit hole, and the reason I stayed. Um, I actually stayed away from the fandom when they broke up, and then went back again when TVXQ Union, and Changmin returned. And yeah, I think they'll still be like my ultimate bias until the day I die. So yeah, all right. Um, we have a couple of questions on in the chat. Thank you for posting the questions. I'm just going to scroll up and find. Biglang ang dami na
Find,
nung ano.
find something we can actually answer.
Yeah, we can let's find something we can actually answer. So let's see. Where is that? There. Parang ano, parang hirap nung tanong. But sige, let's try.
So while you're looking
Let's
for
try.
Oh no.
Jealous says, how do you how do you think acceptance of K-pop in general has changed locally, and has it affected
Ang
your
controversial
fandoms?
niyan.
I think it's great
Totoo.
that it's she who gets to answer this first because you get to answer
I
this first.
hate having a first name na
No,
C.
if you have an answer, just please raise your hand. If you don't, okay lang, it's fine. Like if you have like a quick answer, syempre
No, because
we don't want to force you.
iniisip ko nga, I was thinking during the time when I got into K-pop, it was barely known. Like as in it was a very small group of people that don't know each other in real life. Because we were all online. We were all online. 'Cause that was the environment of K-pop at the time. It wasn't even, and the internet wasn't even that big yet, but we had no choice, you know. Like we did the whole burning CDs and DVDs of our favorite stuff. I still have
Oh my god,
literally
yes.
I literally still have, they were like, I have tapes. I have literal tapes of music shows from back in the day. As in from the video cam, you know, you record it, you put it in your TV, and then we have tapes. Anyway, the fandom back then was very low key. It was quiet, but it was, at the time, I felt, oh, this is kind of sad, you know, there aren't a lot of people. But then at some point, we crossed the line of it being a fad that everyone secretly hates. Like everyone knows K-pop, but also they hate it. You know, when Nobody became big in the Philippines,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
everyone thought of it like as a joke. Like everyone, they got so tired of Nobody, and then on one hand, K-pop fans got to, you know, talk about it more, but also the general public is as a whole just annoyed with it. And then eventually it got big where more people got into K-pop, which is fun. I met new friends, but it's different because sometimes it feels like it's only being tolerated. You know, at the time back then, it was just
Yes,
being
correct.
tolerated
Yeah.
by people. You know, like they're kind of okay with it. You know, but you can be more open about it, but it wasn't really like an acceptance where, oh, it's just music. Like, oh, she's listening to K-pop, no big deal, stuff like that. I think even now there's still a hint of that. But it has evolved to the point where a lot of people don't care. And also I have a lot of experiences now with friends who used to hate K-pop in front of my salad, and then now they like
I
K-pop,
have
and I'm
some
like,
thoughts about that
right, right,
actually.
right. Like
People
you
who
have
used to diss
right,
K-pop who are now super
That's
into
right.
actually,
K-pop.
yeah, I think
That
that's what the question wants us to say.
Diba? Right? Like, and then now suddenly you like K-pop? Excuse me. I have a friend. I tease her about it because she used to call she used to call my current old group ugly in front of me. And so she recently over the lockdown became
Oh
a fan.
yeah.
Became a fan, and I was like, "Do you remember the time?"
Diba? Sinatalk mo before.
We laugh about it
And
now, but
now,
I keep reminding her of it whenever I get the chance. But we laugh about it now. But I told her, do you remember the time when you told it? You said right to my face. Anyway, yeah, just I feel a sense of fulfillment when people who used to publicly like very vocal about hating K-pop suddenly like K-pop over the lockdown because joy. I'm like, yes, yes, yes. Give this content to me. I like this redemption. I like being validated in this way. Thank you.
I think before,
Is anyone?
bef-
Yeah. Jay, we lost your
We
sound.
lost your audio, Jay.
We lost your sound. I can't hear you.
Not important
Wala na.
anymore. Sorry,
Na-
Jay.
I, I, there's so many emotions. The sound gave up.
Denise daw
Denise has feelings.
bakit? I have
Sabi mo
feelings
kanina
about
may feelings
it.
ka, di ba?
I do have feelings about it. Parang, it's controversial in that sense kasi of course you want to share what makes you happy and all that. But then
Yeah.
there was a time when you wanted to share it and people
And
just
nobody wanted to listen to you.
nobody wanted to hear about it, and now they're all about it. And then it's
Yes.
like sometimes some of these people, excluding friends, because of course when your friends get into what you love, it's always great. But I'm talking about total strangers who used to
Yeah.
slam what made you happy before. So these strangers come into K-pop and act as though they invented the
Oh
fandom,
my god, so much tea. Oh my god, so much tea. So much tea.
diba? It's like they invented it, and then they start calling your bias by their their real names. We do it because we like feeling close to them. That's the reason why we do it. So, for example, it's like oh, Jongin did something so whatever earlier, like you're calling him Jongin now. I mean, of course, you don't have any rights to that person din naman. Pero since you parang we're here first, it's like, no, you can't use that name. I can only use that name. It's a dumb reaction, but we all feel it.
I
So,
feel this so
parang,
much.
parang there's that territoriality of being in the fandom longer than certain people, excluding your friends, of course. These are, again, I need to qualify.
It's
My
very
feelings,
complicated.
yeah,
Yeah.
the feelings are coming from people who are practically strangers who think you were uncool for liking the Wonder Girls. Parang ganon. So,
I miss
yeah,
the
there's
Wonder
that
Girl.
parang get off my lawn kind of feeling. Sometimes. Which is probably why I have softened in my fandom towards certain groups. So, because yeah, even though I identify as XOL, I also like other groups. I'm not gonna mention
Multis,
which, but
let's
some of
go.
them are yeah, some of them have gotten so big that I feel like some of the newer fandoms have actually pushed me out, and I feel like parang this group doesn't need me anymore. So, yan. Yan.
Complicated
Uncomfortable laugh,
feelings.
complicated feelings, but
oh my
yes.
gosh.
I used to be a
Grabe
fan of
yung,
a certain
this
group.
group doesn't need me anymore.
This group doesn't need me anymore. This group doesn't need me anymore, and they have grown into such wonderful beings that other people enjoy them. Yun.
Jay, you were going to say something, Jay.
I was gonna say something. The internet decided that I should not say something. Disconnected my things. Anyway, yeah, I think it's close to what the rest of have been saying. Anyways, it's just before you kind of have to explain what K-pop is and why you like it. So if you're listening to something and somebody asks what are you listening to, you kind of have to explain what K-pop is and why you're in it, even to start with. Like one time I was going to go watch Shiny in Tokyo, so I was taking a leave. So I said I'm gonna go to Japan because I'm gonna watch a concert. Which concert? Shiny. And I said, what's that? So it's this group, and and the person actually laughed at my face, and I'm like,
Oh no.
I'm not. I'm sorry. Especially
Oh
at
no.
that time, that was a painful time. I wanted to watch that show because it was an important show for my fandom, and he just laughed at my face, and I think my face just changed in that second, and he stopped laughing, and I'm like, sorry, but yeah, it's serious business. And I feel like now you don't need to explain because it's on the radio, more people around. That's the same people who used to ask me why I like it or just kind of dissed why I'm into the thing are actually now into the thing. So I guess there's less explaining to do. But yeah, I get the sentiment of why are you on my lawn when you were pissing on this before. So it's a very human emotion. So I get that.
Why are
I
you
had that
on
kind of
my lawn?
experience as well. I think it was like 2011, 2012. I was studying Korean in KCC. It was still here in Taguig. So it's the Korean Cultural Center offered classes for Hangul ko, this the language classes. And I was attending a class with a couple of people, and one of them was attending the class not because of K-drama or K-pop. He just really wanted to learn the language. So he said something because that was the time when TVXQ had broken up, and maiyak ganun.
Huwag kang ganyan!
Joke lang. No. I'm not gonna cry. It's TVXQ had broken up, and the two have not, as a duo, they have not returned to the performing aspect of K-pop yet. So they're just laying low for a bit, and then they were in class. They were talking about the lawsuit, the entire thing, and I wasn't participating. And he knew that I was a TVXQ fan because I had photos of Yuno and Changmin in my notebook. Well, very high school. Anyway, and he said, "Oh, what do you think about what do you think about what we're talking about?" Para ganon. And then I told him I don't want to talk about it because it hurts me. And he laughed at me, and I was like, I'm not kidding. I'm really hurting. I'm actually it really hurts. Because, I don't know what's going to happen to my favorite group. The three who left the company are already promoting, and my biases are in the basement, are in the SM dungeon. So I don't, parang, please do not touch me. Don't laugh at me.
I have a
I'm serious
question,
about this.
Tara.
Yes.
Does it still affect you, yung that? Does it still affect you
Yes.
until now? It does, no?
It does, but
Ako
I
din.
have actually I have actually learned to listen to the old songs without,
Mm.
parang I compartmentalized the three that left.
I
Parang,
Yeah.
haven't.
yeah, I can also watch some videos of them, of the five of them. It's just not the same anymore. Like,
Mm.
I can't really fangirl everybody in the same level, ganon.
Yeah.
So, yan.
I
So
I
at the time, that person did not have a fandom, and then after a few years,
jerk.
he became a fan of 2NE1. Tapos nung nag-break sila, sorry, nung nag-disband sila, para akong na ano, may, parang
K-pop
may
karma.
vindication. I mean, sorry to the 2NE1 fans in the chat. I'm so
Gets
sorry,
you.
but like
No, I
that
get
at
you.
that
Get,
point,
gets.
I totally get you.
yeah.
That's why it's hard to make comments about people's groups when they break up because you
Yeah.
never know what will happen
That's
to
true,
your
yes.
group.
I'm very careful whenever like groups lose a member or
Yeah.
groups disband.
Yes.
I'm always kind to the stans of those groups because I know how it feels. So yung isa ko palang problem is when people make fun when K-pop fans get emotional about something bad that happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like as if it
Yes.
doesn't matter. I hate that.
True.
So whenever like ang dami na ever since of other groups, even other groups that I like and then groups that my friends like when that break up, this band. I'm always like, I know how you feel. It's okay. You're gonna get through this.
Yeah.
Because it sucks. It sucks. Please don't be mean to people. These are actual emotions. It's very difficult and people really don't understand until they experience it. Like when TVXQ broke up, I before they broke up, I bought the O concert ni remember the
Yeah, I
DVD.
have that as well.
Yeah,
Yes, I have
I
that.
bought the DVD and then I didn't open it yet. I wasn't able to open it before they broke up. I still have it. It still has the plastic. I still have not
Oh
opened
my
it.
god.
It's not. It's here, but I haven't touched it since because feelings, and I need to cover a very specific face from the photo books that I have. So that's also difficult because he was my ult. I'm so stressed. Naalala ko na naman siya. Anyway, but yeah, because there, that's also another thing that's my issue. That even if the acceptance for K-pop is better now, parang people are still, ano ba yan? Ba't ang dami mong feelings? Bakit ba? Pakialam mo. Sorry.
Diba? Tapos, please don't.
Yeah.
Stay there. Don't say it. Ayan. Okay, so we have another question from Bridge. So, whoever has an answer, please just say something.
Jay,
So,
joke.
what draft,
Go,
work in
Jay.
progress, or finished
K-drama
thing
yung
are you
sa
working
akin,
on?
tapos na.
It's okay.
It's okay. Yun din naman yun.
K-pop o K-pop?
Keep
Keep up.
Hindi K-drama.
Hindi, sabihin mo na rin.
Sinagot ko na. Okay na yun.
Does anybody else have anything to share? Like, if you're working on a new book or a new story, anybody? No. I'm gonna say something.
Oi.
Because I have, yeah, Steven's always been in the pipeline anyway. So that's like the third book in the Backstage Pass series. It's not. It's forever been in the outline stage, but I think there's something's gonna happen by around the end of May. Thank you, Vincenzo. Char.
Whoa!
I'm sorry.
Guys, watch Vincenzo, guys. It's the best. May
Canon
promo.
kasi yung Vincenzo kay Steven.
Yeah, it's a masyadong
Successful.
maraming fee.
Congratulations,
Masyadong maraming
Steven.
fodder na binibigay sa akin ng drama na yon. So I might just start writing it and
Yes, please. Thank you.
finish get this over and done with ganon. Does anybody else have like or is anybody else working on like a K-pop inspired thing? No, not yet. Okay. Okay. Next question. Outside of romance class books, are there any K-pop or K-drama inspired romances that you can recommend? I think Kat has one.
I would like to recommend I Believe in a Thing Called Love by Maureen Gu. Wait, I'll show the cover. Wait lang. Maureen Gu. So the plot is about a girl who is a fan of K-drama, and she kind of wrote a notebook like how will she make her moves on the guy she likes using K-drama formulas. This is the cover. Ay, ano ba to? It's too bright.
Blogger hands.
Yeah.
Blogger.
It does not work. Ano na lang, I Believe in a Thing Called Love by Maureen Gu. I tried, guys. Yeah.
It's okay.
It's okay. Anybody else have a recommendation?
Ikaw
I think
ni.
we mentioned earlier in our private chat. Wow, private chat. Wicked Fox by Kat Cho is YA and paranormal. Is it called? No, YA and fantasy. So it's about this nine-tailed fox, a gumiho. So if you've seen a lot of K dramas, you might have seen like My Girlfriend is a Gumiho, and so that's the lore that surrounds the entire book. So the main character is a young gumiho who goes to a high school, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's a high school, not a college. But yeah, it's oh, somebody's sharing her screen. Oh, there it is. Wicked Fox by Katcho. It was I forgot when I read it. I actually listened to the audiobook through Scrib. So if you have Scrib, I think it's still there. I really liked it because it really is, if you're fond of K drama, it really has those K drama beats between the main character and the LI. So there are moments there where I literally would stop in my tracks while listening because kinilig ako. So, yun. That's my recommendation. Okay. Anyone else? Wala na. Okay, so let me look for another question over here. Okay, Mina has a recommendation. Where's
Ayan na si
Mina?
Moringu.
Oh, there's Maringu. I believe in a thing called love. We'll add Mina to the stream so I can. She has a recommendation. Where is she? There.
Okay, just quickly adding a recommendation. It's called Misunderstanding Mr. Popular by Dane Luna. The author is Filipino. So it's it just has that vibe. It's like high school. There's a dog cafe, and then the tropes are similar. And it reminded me a lot of the vibe of yung of actually books that I've read. Again, I'm not K drama is not my specialty or K-pop, but it reminded me a lot of the vibe of romance class books. And the author is Filipino, so check it out. There. Yay. I have a rec. That's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Mina. Okay. Kat, Chris is asking if you have read the other Moringu book. I think it's I forgot the title.
Yeah, yung
I think it
Somewhere
was on
Only We
Scrib.
Know nga.
Oh
Somewhere
not
yeah,
yet.
Only We Know.
Not
Mm.
yet. Is it good? Okay ba?
I haven't read
I
it.
have not finished it yet. I have not finished it
Okay.
yet. This is she's the main character here is soloist. Some kind of something like Boa. She reminded me of like young Boa. She's a soloist. She tours the world, and
Mm.
she one night after a performance in Hong Kong, I think, she leaves her hotel to find food because she has been starving herself, because that's how the K-pop way is. Like the idols don't eat a lot because they'll look puffy in the morning for like an appointment or whatever. So yeah, she slips out of her hotel to find food, but it's she has already taken her sleeping pills, so she falls asleep on the bus, and this guy
Ah,
finds her. So yeah, that's yeah. I have not finished it yet, so I don't know how it ends. Hopefully it's a good one. Hopefully it's a good book. There. Okay, so Jella is asking, what K reality shows or variety shows are you recommending to watch?
Wala
I,
akong
I haven't
variety shows
I
lately.
haven't seen 2 days one night since I was watching it before the thing that
The
happened with the
Thing, yes.
guy.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
'Cause I really
Yes.
liked that guy, and then the thing happened. So I was
This is,
watching it
see guys,
before
this is
that.
the pain. This is the pain talaga.
It was actual
They
pain.
keep ruining this for us.
I know.
Just be good people. It's hard. Anyway, I was watching it before that happened, and even before in the earlier days when it was Isundi and PD na, and that's always a good show. I like 2 days one night. So they go on a trip somewhere. I enjoy that they go to places in Korea that you don't really know. If you're coming in as a tourist or just somebody who's curious about the country, so they go to these different provinces or areas that are not that familiar to me. And then they have games, of course, that's always fun. Who gets to eat, who gets to not eat, who gets to sleep outside, who gets to sleep inside. And usually when it's in the winter time and somebody has to pitch a tent outside, that's always fun. And they get to eat specialty foods of where they will be going, so you get to see tourism and food and fun games and people who are not always good at games, and they get really competitive, and it's really really funny.
I have one pala. Because I'm chismosa. There's this variety. It's a variety show and a cooking show. It's called Please Take Care of My Refrigerator. So it's very fun. I love it so much because I'm not sure if when the last episode happened, but Please Take Care of My Refrigerator. Basically, celebrities come in with their actual fridge from their house or their dorm, uh, and their pantry items. The show brings it over with them, and so the hosts will look into the fridge, see what's in. I'm very chismosa. I enjoy this content. So they look into the fridge, so you see what this celebrity or this idol has in for food in their ref, and then the chefs, the actual chefs in the show will try to cook, will prepare a meal for the celebrity based on some parameters that they set in the beginning,
Mhm.
and all they have to use is whatever's in the fridge or in the pantry that uh, the celebrity has. It's very fun. I enjoy it the most when it's idols, or also when the fridge is very barren. Because
Because
it's a
no
good
time to shop.
yeah, like it's a great challenge because they can't shop. They have to make do with whatever is in the fridge. So it's really fun. Also, yeah, and yun yeah, for the chismosas out there, it's very interesting to see how people pack their fridge or do not pack their
Not pack
fridge.
their fridge.
That's
Related to
fun.
that, sorry, chismosa content. I suddenly remembered. I Live Alone. I Live Alone is
Oh,
also great
yes.
because they had a recent episode where Shiny Ski is the guest. So essentially, the guests are people who live alone. So celebrities who live alone. So they show one day in the life of this person who is living alone. So you get to see their house. They get to see what they do from when they wake up, yung skincare routine nila.
So
And
fun.
for Ricky, he has two dogs. So you get to see what the dogs, who is the boss dog and who is the beta dog and who is actually
Chismosa
the boss
content is the
of the
best.
house. I know, it's so awesome. And for that episode, he had Taeyeon over for dinner, and he likes to cook, so he cooks for her, and they had a conversation. So that it's just masa content. Also, it's
I
prime
live
just masa
alone, yes.
content.
Do it.
Yeah. I Live Alone is I don't watch it all the time, but like when my favorite people are there, like Daniel Henny, I really enjoy this episode because they show him waking up and
That's the best part, yeah.
exercising and showering. Yun pala yung hinahanap na content. But yeah, I like that show as well. I've always been a fan of the talk shows from before, like Strongheart and
Oh my
what was
god.
that? They had a lot of like Heroin 6 is also oh my god, yung mga lumang show
My god, the
naglalabasan.
old
Diba, like
family
Heroin
outing.
6, Strongheart and
Intimate na.
Sharking were very nice shows na where the idols usually come on. And I think na-miss ko yun kasi they don't usually do that anymore at
Not anymore.
ngayon. But in terms of reality or variety, I really enjoy I Can See Your Voice.
Yes, o nga pala. Yes.
I really because so we already have a Pinoy version of that. I think 2 years ago nag-start, but yun Korea
Yeah.
started that show. There are like six or seven people na contestants, and the panel and the guests who are usually the idols and artists, they will guess who from the six people in the panel of contestants who can sing and who cannot sing. So that's really fun. I enjoy it. And there are a lot of like I've learned a couple of new songs from that show, because they also pick really nice selections for the contestants, and also you can see how talented they are as well. Kasi they also explore different genres. Eh. May pansori, which is the traditional singing. Sometimes they have, and then they have rockers. They have, kasi hindi lang pop. So that's one. And then also 2 days and one night, because I have started watching it again because of Kim Sono, because he's so adorable. All I'm so sorry. Like I watched it before because of Juwon. Was also an actor bias, because he was part of the cast before, and then now Sono is there. And it's so funny that all of my actor biases are so bano with games. Like they keep on losing these games. And it's funny because um so, pangit nung you're laughing at their pain because they can't eat. Parang ang sama. But that's how the 2 days and one night dynamic kasi goes, eh. Like you're put into two teams, and then you play games, and yung talo, they can't eat for the night, they can't eat dinner, and then or they can't sleep inside the house, ganyan. But yun, recently I watched their episode where they had to cook, and nobody like really knows how to cook from the 6 cast members, so it was a disaster. And sayang, because the ingredients look really expensive. Tapos parang wala, pangit yung lasa nung niluto nila. Yun. Anyone else
Ako
with a variety show
for
recommendation? Yeah.
reality, if you're a K-pop newbie or a K-entertainment newbie, you can't go wrong with Running Man, which is super classic. So there are
Yes.
tons of seasons, tons of episodes, and the way I started with it is you don't start from the start. You look for where the episodes where your idols guested and go from there. So I think apart from the expertise of Koreans when it comes to storytelling, they're really, really good at games, making up games. The challenges on Running Man are really, really funny. And sometimes when they have a guest over that you don't know, and you find them funny performing the games or acting or joining the games and being really funny, you end up googling them after, and that's how
Yes,
you get deeper and deeper into
Mood.
the rabbit hole. So there's
that's
Running
correct.
Man, and also for K-pop, I really miss Weekly Idol. Kasi that's where you really get to know the
So
names of
fun.
each of the members. And then by the end of the episode, kilala mo na sila. Like who they are, what they like, their yung basic personality nila. Weekly Idol is your idol 101. And I miss those hosts. Parang iba na yata ngayon eh, pero I miss those hosts. Kahit na
They
medyo
transferred
bastos sila.
yata to a new.
Yeah,
Ah,
nag-issue
Yeah,
ganun?
they
kasi.
transferred to a new
Bastos kasi
thing, to
sila.
a new
May,
station.
may drama. May drama,
Ayun.
kaya pinalitan sila.
And then, if you like children, there's My Baby and Return of Superman. So, Korean parenting. The fathers are really... If you like Korean dads, I mean, they're really more... Sometimes parang ang involved nila with the parenting. And I like that, na parang it's normalized that the dads are really hands-on with the parenting. That's why I like that show so much. Yun.
Oh my God, when you said babies, ang una ko naisip, Hello Baby. I'm so old.
Hello, baby.
Hello, baby.
I miss Hello Baby because idols
Oh
went there a
my
lot.
my
gosh.
God, Hello
Nakakamiss ko yung
Baby.
Hello Baby.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
babe.
nakakamiss. Kasi you get to
Anyway.
see your idols, acting as caregivers to small children.
Yeah.
And it's
Oh my God,
really
I mean,
endearing.
They actually
Sobrang
gave Demil
endearing.
a child. I mean, that's
I know, right? A child.
He managed not to
They
find
gave
the
a child a child.
He gave a child.
oh, he actually thought the Soshi Nunas are gonna take care of them, the babies.
No, not true. Wala rin silang nagawa.
You are the parent. This is the baby. That was fun. 2009,
Okay, so
2010.
Chris has another question. Any favorite K-drama LIs whose characteristics have inspired your own LIs? Dun, dun, dun. Jeopardy. Who has an answer for this? So this will be the last question, and then we're gonna close with another one with recommendations and stuff.
Because we're hitting 2 hours,
K
that's why we
drama
have
and
to stop
life.
this madness.
Alam mo, Chris, talagang ganun. Alam mo, Chris, chismisan. Alam mo, Chris, I have not finished this yet. This was supposed to be my trope-tastic fic. It was inspired by startups Han Pyong. I'm so sorry. I really wanted for him to have a happy ending, and I just like umiyak. But yeah, I that fic, which I'm trying to finish for something else that I hope I can release this year. Yeah, it was inspired by Han Pyong of Startup. And yun nga, bibigyan ko siya ng HEA kasi kawawa naman siya eh. Are you still releasing Future Task? Hopefully, Tanya, hopefully. But I don't know when it's gonna happen. I don't know when. Hopefully, mga before Feels Fest as a collection, as an anthology. Yan, part of an anthology.
Si Bridge, good boy.
The answer is yes. It's just the timing. Okay, amin ako. The, since
Okay.
Tara was talking about trope, Kat was like, "Are you not gonna say anything?" Because she knows everything. 'Cause she knows everything. Yeah, trope-tastic. That short story was inspired by Iksong because I'm so bitten with the ending of playlist hospital playlist season 1. So hopefully we're getting season 2 soon, May or June. Anyway, yeah, that short story in my short story in Tropetastic was inspired by Ikjun and Songhwa from Hospital Playlist.
Okay, anyone else? Wala na? Okay, so we'll close this session. We'll close this stream with recommendations. So if you have K drama or K-pop recommendations, that just throw it out there. Like, what do you want people to listen to or watch next? Hopefully, kung K-drama siya, it's not ongoing. Sana yun tapos na para
Sayang, di ko
hindi
masasabi
nabibitin.
Vincenzo. Joke lang.
We can still say
Nasabi,
Vincenzo. Ayan,
we
nasabi na
already got
natin.
to say it. So
We've been saying it.
if you're recommending a song or an album, let us know what artist, and yun, if it's a drama title, and where we can find it. Let's start with Chi.
Um, I don't know. I think a few of the people in the comments already watched this, but I'm gonna recommend this anyway. Her Private Life, starring Park Min Young and Kim Jae Wook. I'm ranking it for fangirl rep. I'm recommending it for fangirl rep and supportive LI rep. Let's go Ryan Gold. He's the best. The best. The best. Like, he's good at his job. He's good looking. And he supports his fangirl girlfriend. What else? What more do you want? What more do you need? Plus it's a very fun drama that looks into being a professional, semi-professional fangirl. Super fun. There trigger warnings for a few trigger trigger warnings for a few dangerous or maybe sketchy behaviors from fangirls and fansite managers. If you're into K-pop, you will know, but it trigger warnings because some of it did affect me a little bit, like car chasing, you know,
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's very, But yes, as a whole, I highly recommend her Private Life for fangirl rep and supportive LI rep.
Cool. Thanks. Denise?
These are K-pop, K-drama recommendations, tama ba?
Yeah, you can also
Tama ba?
recommend like a
Or
K-pop or
songs if you want.
song or album. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
whatever.
I would recommend for K-drama, I am currently rewatching Missing. It's not everyone's cup of
Oh
tea,
my
but it's
god.
mine because there are just so many small moments here that are very touching and affecting. And they somehow are able to make a conference call really exciting, feel really exciting, and on the edge of your seat kind of feeling. Um, Yun. And also Imshi one. And there are a lot of yummy guys in this show, office worker guys. So if that's your thing, go for it. I also like The Master Son with Soji Sub. Solid storytelling. And quite recently, very late to the party ako dito, but I really loved Weightlifting Fairy Kim Bok-ju because it's super wholesome. And there is
Yes.
nothing wrong in this universe. I love it so much and it's super comforting. So I recommend.
Thank you, Denise. I'm
Thank
seconding
you.
weightlifting fairy and master son as well. Kat.
My favorite, uh, recent favorite is This Is My First Life. I think that's the English translation. It's John Somin and that tall guy. I forgot his name. I'm so sorry. But I liked it because it was super chill.
Limited yata.
Lee Min
Unlimited.
Ki, yes. Lee Min Ki? Yeah. Uh,
Pinky.
it's it's very chill lang. Parang the struggles were very real, especially for us 25 up. Tapos very low yung angst. Sakto lang ganyan. It's very nice. I like it. It's showing a lot of ayun. There are three couples there kasi tapos iba-ibang facets of their relationship and it's very nice. Low angst. Yun yung gusto ko. Yan.
Thanks, Kat. Jay.
Okay, recent favorite, and this is because of Tara. She made me watch Hospital Playlist, and thank you for watching it with me. She cannot show the Hospital Playlist OST, the 99 generation version. Yeah, it's five surgeons who are in their 40s working in the same hospital. And for a hospital drama, it's very low angst, which is, as Kat mentioned, what we kind of need right now. I don't need high angst drama unless it's Vincenzo. I'm fine with that because Vincent. Anyway, okay, we're not going to talk about Vincenzo. Anyway, so yeah, it's five friends. So they each have their own tropes. So there's also their siblings' best friend. There's first love. There's uh, kind of pining best friend into lovers. So best friend to lovers trope. So there's a lot happening also. And the best part for me is that they are in a band. So they are friends and they are in a garage band. So every episode they practice together. And so for every episode we get a full song that they are performing together, which is super, super cool. And usual trigger warnings for a hospital drama. So there will be deaths. So children, some lost babies from pregnancies, cancer. So those kinds of things, in case they are triggering, they're also part of the drama. But all in all, it's very low angst. There will be tears. For those who are familiar with the work of the director and writer duo from the Reply series. So they're very good at creating scenes that are funny and also tear-jerking. So Tara and I would be crying and then laughing in one scene, which is just a skill that I think is really awesome. So yeah, it has one season done, and it's one of the new things that K-dramas have been doing, that they have one season and they have another season coming. But the end of the first season was actually wrapped up pretty nicely. That if you want to end there, it's okay. It's 12 episodes that you can start with. It's on Netflix if you want to watch.
Thanks, Jay. 6. Ikaw naman.
So first, for K-pop, hello, am I still here?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
I lost everybody for a second. Okay, so for first, K-pop recommendation, like at least I haven't been mentioning them enough. Day 6, you can literally jump anywhere in their discography, and you will find something that you will like. So I highly recommend them. And then as for K-drama, this one is really old, from 2006. And it's nothing even profound or life changing or anything, but I really liked it. I remember it was one of those first dramas that felt super light, just very low angst, and it has a lot of kilig. Because it is dated, it will have the old K drama tropes. Nobody dies though, so you don't have to worry about buses coming out of nowhere and and all the other things. But it's called The Man in the Vineyards. It's Yunonye and Omantok. And I really like this because first of all, it's not set in the city. They are in a vineyard somewhere far, far, far away from the city. So they are literal probinsya in the vineyard. And the LI is a farmer, but he also has a PhD. So he's a farmer and a doctor, and he does research on the vineyard and all of that. And then he's also very masungit, right? He's sometimes super dismissive to the MC, but then when she's not looking, he literally builds her a bathroom. He builds her a dresser with his own two hands. So he's also basically just building her their house. It's also forced cohabitation because the MC is forced to live in the vineyard, so she inherits the vineyard. But the caveat is she has to work with the guy. So it's very low angst. It's just high kilig. There's the usual love triangle and the weird second lead. But if I remember correctly, he's not naman creepy or anything. Not to the extent that some second leads can be. So it's mostly that. It's 16 episodes, and by the end, it's super cute, especially when you have this dynamic of they're both trying to like deny that they have feelings for each other. Yeah, it's very cute. So that's my recommendation.
Okay, thank you, Six. So, ang recommendation ko naman, ewan ko ha, I'm not sure if there are still people here in this panel or in the chat who have not seen it, but these these dramas, but I'm gonna mention them anyway. One is You're Beautiful or Minami Shineo. It's on Netflix. It's about a band who has a new member join them. It's an all boy rock band, and they have a new member coming in. It's supposed to be another boy, but it's actually the twin sister of the actual member that's supposed to be joining them. So shenanigans because there's a may interloper may nagpapanggap na lalaki in a boy band. So um it's a really fun drama, but it's pretty old. Medyo matagal na siya, like 2008 yata. Si or I don't know, I forget. No, not my god, I forget na. 2008, 2009, I think. So it's very dated. You will see the phones, still have clamshell phones and stuff. So but it's a pretty solid drama. Just look out for the problematic things like fandom bullying, because the fandom culture is also represented there. Um, and the
2009.
second 2009. Okay, so matagal na siya. My God, the Corby phones were still super in then. The colored Corby, Samsung Corbys. I sobrang I wanted one of those, but wala. I didn't. I wasn't able to get. The second drama is Dream High. 2011, I think. So Dream High is an academy of an academy for people who are aspiring to be idols. And we have it's a it's parang a coming of age drama with a little romance. Parang siyang YA pero in an arts academy. And that's like the breakout drama for Kim Soo-yeon, and the 2 p.m. boys are also there. There's Taekyon, there's Wooyoung, there's a cameo from Chansung, and then you also have idols like Suzy, Unjung, tama ba?
Tiara,
That's
yeah.
yeah, Tiara Unjung, and who else? IU. Oh my God,
IU!
IU when she was still
Ano
very
ba?
new to acting, and
Yes.
now she's just slaying her yeah. So those are the two like K-pop and K-drama related dramas that I will recommend. Lastly, I don't know where you can find this, but this has Vincenzo vibes. I've been telling this to Jay. Squad 38 is like an amazing workplace con man drama where a con man and a tax collector join forces to collect taxes
I think
from
I saw
from
that.
the
That's with Don
from the rich.
the Mandong Suk, right?
Yes,
Si
Madong Sok and
Don.
So in Guk.
I saw
Oh,
that. Ang ganda yan. I love it.
And also Suyong is there from Sonyoshide. It's so fun because this con man and this very upright person, they're working together because they want to collect. Also, Vicky has Squad 38. Thank you, Chris. They Kasi there are people who have a lot of money but evade their taxes, so they do their scheming to actually get the money from them in an illegal way. But it's so fun. It's so much fun. So please watch that if you can.
Agree. That's so fun.
Madong Suk, oh my god, I love him.
Yes. We love him.
Okay. Yes, Lee Sun Bin is also there. She was so good there. Yun. Thank you so much, guys, for hanging out with us. That's we have been here for 2 hours now. So and I know that
Wow.
if we don't stop now, there's a lot more conversation that's going to go on. But we can also always, talk on Twitter or where else? Instagram? No, Twitter na lang. It's easier
Twitter.
that way. Yes, on Twitter. So thank you so much. Classmates, thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you to our panelists, Chi Rodriguez, Danice Mae P, Sison,
Thanks,
J.
guys.
Tria, Katt Briones, Reyes for joining us. Mina, do you have something to say?
Yeah, so I just wanted to thank the entire panel for sharing your expertise and what you love about K-pop and K-drama. Just to, this was just like a lovely experience because I think that's what we're exploring in the podcast, these tropes that we pick up from romance media that we like, and it's showing up in our books. And I think it's a great example of how what we what we like helps add to what we create, and it doesn't have to it makes these things that we enjoy, it just enriches everything. So thank you so much for sharing. Thank you to everyone in the chat. It was so active, such an active chat. And so
Thank you.
everyone was so
Thank
sassy, and
you.
and you had and you had such great questions. Definitely continue to interact with the authors here. I'll link to their books on Twitter. You can subscribe to the Romance Class channel here on YouTube. Go to killing.pub/YouTube, hit subscribe, and then the bell so you can be notified when we have future things. There will be future things. Uh, there's stuff happening. Definitely subscribe. We're also on uh as a podcast. We're available everywhere that you are able to listen to a podcast, so please subscribe to us there as well. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you so
Bye.
much,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you for
Bye.
Bye.
hanging out with us. Bye.
Happy weekend, guys. Bye.